Hey guys, so in this course, yesterday I already told you, right? In this course, what we will learn? So we will learn Linux OS as well as AWS plus Devops. So we will include the tools whenever we start the AWS. It automatically we will include. So we will include the DevOps tools when we so so when we teach when we train to the AWS it automatically so we'll get the tools involved on the tools with the AWS. Okay, guys. So the initially first 10 days we'll discuss about the Linux and basic parts of the Linux. So not a Linux, but so before that, before that, why Linux? What is the Linux? Where we can use the Linux? We will discuss on this part. Okay, guys, understood? Guys,
Yes.
yes, right? So yeah. So Linux is a OS. Linux is a OS. Windows is a OS. Right. Guys, what is OS? So in our laptops, which OS is installed, guys? So in our laptops, which laptops are you using? So Gloret, which laptop are you using?
I'm using a Toshiba, but using
Okay.
Windows.
Okay. So Toshiba is the hardware. In that Toshiba, which OS you are installed? Windows installed is Windows OS is installed. So which flavor of the OS and which version of the OS you are using?
Windows.
Windows.
Yes.
This is the flavor, and the version is
Say it
10,
again.
11,
Yeah, within
Win-
11.
Windows 11. Okay, very good. So what about Zoin, Senta Zoin? So which laptop are you using? Senta Zoin Pro,
Mac,
Senta
Mac,
Zoin.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm using a MacBook.
You are using a MacBook. In the MacBook,
Yes.
which OS is installed on the MacBook?
Sorry, say it again.
So which OS is installed on the MacBook?
I'm not sure I understood.
Something like so this
Oh,
is your
basically, like
Apple app. Wait,
you're
guys,
asking
wait.
about the application installed in your MacBook.
Yeah, Apple is the Apple MacBook. You something like Apple is the hardware, right?
Oh,
Macintosh Macintosh is the operating system on your MacBook. So which OS is
oh,
installed? Macintosh OS is installed on your machine. Okay, now you understand?
Yes.
Yeah, Josna, what about you?
Yeah, I'm using Dell laptop and the operating system is Windows version is 11.
Very good. So you people are using something like Apple hardware, HP hardware, Dell hardware, Toshiba hardware, or Lenovo hardware. In that hardware, you installed a OS, something like a Mac OS, a Windows OS, right? So Windows OS. So OS is nothing but, guys, OS is nothing but, what is OS?
operating system.
Yeah. So I'm not asking about abbreviation. I'm asking the meaning of the OS. So what is the OS?
Yeah, it acts as a link between the hardware and to the programmer.
Hardware and
Programmer.
programmer. Who is programmer? Programmer. So programmer is like a user, only programmer using the OS or something like. So
Yeah,
you are
it's
a programmer, Jyoti, Josna.
programmer means it's a user.
Very good. user,
and to hardware.
hardware. Yeah. So what is a OS? Something like uh, a mediator or interface between user and hardware. So what is a OS meaning, guys? A mediator between user and computer. User and computer is nothing but a OS. Yeah, guys.
Excuse me.
Hardware knows which language. Hardware knows
Excuse
which
me. Yes.
language, guys. Sorry.
Excuse me. Sorry. Is there any way you can tap it up for us, like meaning of OS, like you know
OS like a
and is there any way is it possible for you to type like what is OS for us so we can see on the screen?
yeah. I will give. I will tell. So mediator between user and hardware or a computer is nothing but a OS. So what is the OS, guys? What is operating system? Guys, tell me everyone. What is OS?
The
It's the interface
interface
between
between
hardware and
the
user.
user and the hardware of the
Yes.
computer.
So why we need install OS? So we can directly interact. So we can directly interact with the computer, like a hardware or computer. So why we need OS? So something like you bought a HP or Dell or Apple system, Apple hardware. So directly you can interact with the hardware, right? So why we need OS? Why we need a OS? You can directly interact with the hardware, right? You can directly interact with the Apple, something like a
It's a system understanding language.
HP, Dell. Yep. User knows. So hardware knows which language, guys. So hardware made up with chips, right? So hardware are made up with the chip, something like what is CPU, central processing unit. So the processor, right? Intel processor, AMD processor. So these processor, so developed through. So these chips are developed made up of something like chips. Chips knows which language. So the hardware knows which language, guys. Does anyone knows? Binary language. So binary means, guys, binary means two only two. Binary, zeros and ones. Zeros and binary language. Hardware knows, hardware knows which language? A binary language. Binary means a zeros and ones. Computer knows only zeros and ones. User knows which language? High level a language. For example, our communication is English. For example, so our communication is English only. So for example, user knows English. User knows English. A computer hardware knows a zeros and one. So zeros and ones. So hardware doesn't know the English. A user doesn't know the a binary language. User doesn't know the a binary language. For example, Josna,
Yeah, yes.
you are from?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, you are from. You are from. So,
uh, sorry, I didn't get. Oh no, I live in Seattle, Washington.
okay. Okay. Something like you are from India, right?
Yeah, I'm from India.
Okay. So which language are you using? You are from South or
Sorry,
North? You are
South
from
South
South.
India, from AP, Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. So you know Telugu, right?
Yeah, I know Telugu. I
Yeah.
speak Telugu from Guntur.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Yes. For example, guys. For example, so Josna knows Telugu Telugu language, Telugu language, and Kim knows so so English language. So Jyoshna knows Telugu language, Kim knows English language, English only. So Jyoshna doesn't know English, Kim doesn't know Telugu. Kim doesn't know Telugu. So how they communicate each other. Something like Jyoshna want to Jyoshna want to convey a message to Kim. Kim wants to convey a message to Jyoshna. But Kim doesn't know Telugu, Jyoshna doesn't know English. So they are unable to communicate each other. They are unable to communicate each other because of they doesn't know the so both the languages. They doesn't know the both the languages. Kim knows only English language. Something like Josna knows only Telugu language. So they do each other they cannot directly communicate with each other. So we need a alternate solution. So the solution is something like a Sai Suresh. Sai Suresh. Sai Suresh knows the both the languages. Sai Suresh knows the both the languages. Both the languages. So whatever Kim wants to convey Jyoti, Kim informed to Sai Suresh in the English language. Sai Suresh convert this English language into Telugu and convey to Jyoshna. So convey to Jyoshna. So why we need a mediator? Why we need a mediator? Sai Suresh is the mediator. Sai Suresh is the mediator, and Sai Suresh knows the both the languages. Sai Suresh knows the both the languages. So whatever Jyoshna wants to convey to Kim, so Jyoshna will inform to the Sai Suresh. Sai Suresh convert from Telugu to English, and so he convey the whatever Jyoshna said. So he converts to English, and he will inform to the he will convey to the Kim. Will convey to the Kim. Guys, now you understood what is a voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. For example, so user doesn't know the binary language, and hardware doesn't know the English language. So there is no possibility to communicate directly. There is no possibility to communicate directly from user to hardware. So that's the reason we need a OS. So OS knows both the languages. OS knows both the languages. So what are the languages? A and binary and English. English, binary and English. So whatever the user convey to the hardware, so he will inform to the OS. So something, for example, so user pressed in the keyboard something like A. So how you know a hardware A? So hardware doesn't know. So the English language, hardware knows only a zeros and binaries, something like 100 10 10. So you hardware knows no only so zeros and ones. So OS is converting. OS is the converting from A to zeros and ones. How it converts? How it converts? Guys, does anyone knows ASCII values? ASCII. What is ASCII? So ASCII is the organization. So American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So this is the organization American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So this organization gives the a number, decimal number to the whatever you are using in the keyboard. In the keyboard, the keys they provided the a numeric value for that keys. For example, capital A equal to 94. something like a capital B equal to 95, capital C equal to 96, and so on, capital J. The same like way, small a equal to 64, small b equal to 65, small c equal to small c equal to 66, and so on, z, small z equal. So they gave the a value to the keyboard shortcuts. So for example, how it converts OS from A to A to zeros and ones. So the OS took the A, and so what is the decimal value of a capital A, guys? So it will convert through LCM, 94, right? So it took 94, something like it divides by 2. Yeah. So guys, 94 by 2, something like what is the LCM? 3, 4 2 jars 8, 4 2 jars 8, and 14, 70. 70
7,
for 2 jars, 94. 94, right? What is the remainder? Remainder equal to 0. Something like
0,
here, 2 2 jars, something like 3 2 jars, 23 2 jars, 46, right? So what is the remainder? 1.
1,
So 23. 1, 2. So remainder of 1.
1,
So what is the remainder? 6 2 jars 12.
6
Remainder equal to
0,
0.
0,
So 3 2 jar 6. Remainder equal to 0.
0,
2 1 jar
1,
2. Remainder equal to 1.
1,
So again
2, 2, 0,
sorry 1 here, 1 only. So 1 1 jar 2. Remainder equal to 1. So you can take the values from bottom to top. So what is the value, guys? 1
1, 0, 0,
0
1, 1,
0
0,
1 1 0. Yeah. What is the value of A? 1 double 0 double 1 0. So OS converts into the a binary value from A value to capital A to a binary value. So and so display in the a capital A. Guys, now you understood. So why we need OS? So user doesn't know the binary language, hardware or a mission. Computer doesn't know the high level language. Doesn't know the high level language. So they cannot directly communicate with the OS. So they cannot directly communicate with the hardware user. So that's the reason we need a OS. So we need a OS installed on our machine. So what is OS, guys? A mediator or interface between user and computer. A mediator between user and computer. Guys, now tell me what is OS? Guys,
mediator
The
between the
yeah.
user
interface
and
between
the,
hardware and the
Yeah.
and
Mediator.
the,
Guys, now you
maybe the
understand
computer.
why we need to install a OS on our machine. So because of you is something like user is you. So you don't know the binary language, right? You know only English and hardware. Whatever the hardware you purchase, Apple, Dell, HP, Lenovo, whatever the hardware. So you purchase. So hardware doesn't know the user language, user high level language. So there is no possibility to communicate directly. That's the reason we need a OS. So why OS? OS knows both the languages. We need a mediator, something like a mediator is a OS. OS knows the both the languages, binary and English. Converts So whatever user provided the language, so that converts into the binary language, and whatever the computer provided the binary language converts into the uh, high level language, vice versa. So vice versa. A mediator between user and computer or hardware is nothing but a OS. Is nothing but a OS. Guys, now you understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Something like, for example, any hardware you are accessing, you are interacting with any hardware. For example, mobile games. For example, mobile also. So for example, mobile also. This is your mobile, guys. Which mobile you are using, guys? Guys, which mobile you are using, guys?
I don't know.
Apple.
Apple. Next, guys.
I'm using iPhone.
Samsung. Samsung, iPhone, Samsung. Just now, which mobile are you using? Sai
Samsung.
Suresh? Samsung. Sai Suresh?
Realme, sir.
Realme. So whatever the hardware you are using, so how you are interacting with our hardware. So mobile also hardware, right? Guys, mobile also a hardware, right? So
Yes.
made up with a chip. So something like how you are purchasing your mobile. You can see the configuration, right? So what is the processor, what is the RAM, what is the memory, what is the hard disk, something like a ROM. So which memory, something like a 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB memory, 124 GB, 128 GB memory, 8 GB memory, right? So so Samsung, Apple, Realme, Oppo, whatever the hardware, that is also a hardware. So hardware, you are also you are a user. How you are interacting with this hardware. So which OS is installed on Apple, which OS is installed on Samsung, which OS is installed on Realme? Guys, tell me. Apple,
Uh,
which OS is installed?
iOS.
Definitely you are communicating with the hardware. Definitely there will be a OS is installed on this machine, right? On this hardware. So
iOS.
you, iOS, very good. Apple is iOS. Yeah,
Samsung
guys,
is
very good.
Android.
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 Android, Android OS. So Android OS. So there is a iOS and Android OS. So OS is installed on your Apple, Samsung, Realme, whatever the hardware. So definitely we need to install the OS. We need to install the OS, whatever it may be, either iOS. So whatever the compatible with, something like a Samsung compatible with Android, Apple compatible with iOS, Realme compatible with the Android. So BlackBerry. You guys are heard about the BlackBerry, right? So something like 10 years back. So BlackBerry is the a phone. So BlackBerry is
Yes.
using Windows OS. Same like as a Nokia phones. You heard about Nokia, right? So Nokia also using the Windows OS. So Windows OS. So now you got it, guys. So definitely, so you are interacting with the any hardware. Definitely, there will be a OS is installed on that machine, right? So if you are interacting with any hardware, so definitely there will be a OS installed. So
Mhm.
whatever it may be, definitely there will be a OS is installed on that machine. OS is installed on that machine. So Android OS are based on Linux. Android OS is developed. So a Linux OS is installed on the Android OS. Yeah. So whatever the hardware you are interacting with, definitely there will be a OS is installed on this machine. Guys, you are using our routers, right? In your ISP provider providing. So routers, Wi-Fi routers, guys. So do you have an internet facility in our home? You are
Yes.
using Wi-Fi routers. So guys, which Wi-Fi routers are using?
It's,
Guys,
I use Xfinity.
using which routers, guys, you are using? So this is a router, right? TP-Link, Netgear, or something like. You understand, right? So someone is saying something like, which router you are using? Who is Josna?
Xfinity.
Sorry,
Xfinity.
X. Spell that.
Xfinity.
Yes, Xfinity router. Yeah. So you are using the Xfinity router, right? So something like so. So whenever you purchase the Xfinity router, so the default Wi-Fi username and password came, right? After you installing your Wi-Fi username and password. So you changed your Wi-Fi username and password, right? You changed your Wi-Fi name and password. You guys are changing your Wi-Fi name and password. So something like so initially it's something like the Wi-Fi name is Xfinity. After that you are changing your Wi-Fi router and name to something like a Joshney and password also. So you are changing your Wi-Fi router username and password. Username and password. How you are how you are changing your Wi-Fi router username and password. This is a hardware. Hardware knows only binary language. So how you are interacting with this hardware? So definitely there will be a OS is installed on this Infinity router. Definitely. So any hardware, if you are interacting with any hardware, so definitely there will be a OS installed on that on that hardware. On that hardware. Definitely there will be a OS installed. If you are interacting with something like a games, video games. See, these are the video games. So this is the video games. This is also a hardware. This is also a hardware. But how you interacting with this hardware? How you interacting with this hardware? So that's starting. There will be yeah. So this is the video game. Something like so this is the hardware. So this is the hardware. How you are interacting with this screen? Definitely there will be a OS is installed on this machine. So definitely there will be a OS installed on machine. Guys, remember, so you are interacting with any hardware. So if you are interacting with any hardware, so if you are interacting with any hardware, something like a washing machine, something like a ovens. So if you are interacting with any hardware, definitely there will be a OS installed on that machine. So on that machine, guys, now you understand what is a OS. Guys, may understand? So what is a OS?
Yes.
So OS is nothing but a mediator or interface between user and computer. So user and computer. Why? So user doesn't know the binary language and the computer doesn't know the user language. So they cannot interact directly with each other because of user doesn't know the binary computer doesn't know the user language. User language. That's the reason we need a mediator. So we need a mediator to interact with the hardware and the user. So OS knows about the languages, binary and English. So whatever user providing the information, took that information and converts to the binary. So whatever the computer given to the your OS converts from binary to converts a decimal and give it to the A. Now you got it, guys. What is a OS? So OS is nothing but a operating system. It is a mediator or interface between the user and hardware. User and hardware. So whatever it may be,
Hardware.
it may be something like you. So if you are using, and if you are using a hardware, definitely there will be a OS installed on that machine. So definitely there will be a OS installed on this machine. Now you understood, guys, what is OS? Guys, understood?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, now who developed the OS and what are the types of OSs? Who developed the OS and what are the types of OSs? Something like this is the OS. So this is the OS. OS can be divided into two types. OS can be divided into two types. One is single user operating system, and multi user operating system. Single user operating system and multi user operating system. Guys, so you are using a Lenovo HP, these laptops, like these laptops, right? So how many users interacting, how many users are using your laptop at a time? How many users are using your laptop at a time?
One.
One user only. One user only. For example, Dell laptop, Dell or Mac or whatever it may be. Single user and multi-user operating system. What is this? Single user. So this is a multi-user operating system. So single user operating system, multi-user operating system. Yeah. Guys, this is a single user operating system. So multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system means, so whatever you are posting, whatever you are deploying, or something like deploying a application and deploying a website, something like this is the Facebook. Facebook. So Facebook, you deployed a application in the Facebook. So how many users are interacting a Facebook at a time? So something like a lakhs or a crores people, right? For example, 10 people are accessing 10 people are accessing the Facebook website through the internet. So what is the protocol using HTTP? HTTP or HTTP? Yes. HTTP? Yes. So HTTP or HTTPS. So hypertext transfer protocol. Definitely it will be if you are interacting with that mission, definitely there will be a session communicated between user and the computer. So definitely there will be a CPU memory. It will be using the a CPU memory. CPU memory. Definitely we need a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. So which hardware is using multi-user operating system? So multi-user operating system. For example, a Dell PowerEdge R730710. So these all are the hardware OSs. So you see, so this is the as multi-user operating system. So using hardware is the multi-user operating system using hardware. So this hardware having a something like a so two processor, more CPU, more hardware, more a CPU and more hardware. Something like this is the a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. This is the a single user operating system. Single user operating system. Something like you said like that. A Windows is the Windows is the operating system, right, guys? So Windows is the operating system. Who who developed who created the Windows operating system? Guys, does anyone knows who created the Windows? Who developed the Windows OS?
You guys,
Sorry, sorry. Who is Chlorate? Kim
is Bill Gates?
Bill Gates. Very good. So Bill Gates, which company?
Is Microsoft?
Yes, Microsoft. So Microsoft company created the Windows Windows OS. So Microsoft company also created a two types of OSs. So one is for a single operating system OS, as well as a multi operating system OS. So multi operating system OS. So this is the single user operating system OSs. So what are the OSs? Microsoft are designed for the single user. So you guys know something like a Windows 11 you knows, Windows Windows 10 you knows, Windows 8 you knows, Windows Windows 7 I think, Windows 7 you knows, Windows Vista before Windows XP. So there, so these are the these are the OSs of Windows are developed for the Windows developed for the Microsoft something like a Microsoft developed for the single user operating system. So it supports only single user. It supports only a single user. The same like as a multi-user operating systems also. So multi-user operating system. Something like a does anyone knows guys multi-user operating systems? Windows Server 2018. Windows Server 2015. Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2000, 2008. So these all are the a multi-user operating system. These all are the a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system will install on the something like a multi. It supports a multi-user operating system hardware. Something like every hardware. So Dell also. So every hardware, something like a Dell also created two types of hardwares. So Dell also created two types of hardwares. So one is for a latitude model, latitude. So latitude is only for single user operating system. It is only for a single user operating system and the Dell Power Edge, Power Edge or 710, 610. These are the series. So these are the series. So this is for a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating a system, multi-user operating system. So Dell also created two types of hardware. So one is for single user operating system, one is for multi-user operating system. So Microsoft also created two types of OSs. So one is for a single user operating system, other one is for multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating system. So single user means So we can connect only one person daytime. So multi-user means we can connect a multiple users daytime. Can connect a multiple users daytime. A single user operating system and multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. Same like as a Microsoft also and the other other companies also. Other companies also. For example, Linux, not a Linux, Mac. So Apple created only one type of OS only. It supports only a single user operating system. It supports only single user operating system. Something like a Linux. So Linux supports Linux supports a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. So Linux is popular for a multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. Apple is supports for a single user operating system. So single user operating a system. Linux also so designed for a multi-user operating system. Designed for a multi-user operating system. It supports multi-user operating system. So Apple, Linux, Unix, Microsoft. These people are so the Microsoft is designed for two types of ways: single and multi-user operating system. Apple is supports for only single user operating system. So Linux is support for only a multi-user operating system. Same like as a hardware also. Same like as a hardware also. HP supports are two types of hardware. HP supports are two types of hardware. So single user operating system, multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. And Toshiba supports only a single user operating system. Single user operating system. Lenovo supports only single user. Lenovo also supports something like a single user operating system. Single user operating system. Compact, access. So these are also single user operating system. And IBM Blade servers. IBM Blade servers. IBM Blade servers supports only multi-user operating system. IBM hardware supports only a multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating system. IBM Blade servers. Yeah. So these are the IBM Blade servers. It supports only multi-user operating system. It supports only a multi-user operating system. Some of the companies are creating two types of hardwares. They are providing two types of hardwares. Some of the companies are providing only single user operating system. Some of the companies are providing only multi-user operating system. Some of the companies are providing both. The same like as a OS also. Some of the companies are developed both the OSs, single user operating system and multi-user operating system. Some of the companies are only single user operating system. Some of the companies are only multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system they created. Guys, now you got it. So OSs can be two types. One is single user operating system. Other one is multi-user operating system. So which OS you are using in your personal laptops? Single user or multi-user? Guys,
Single user.
single user operating system. So multi-user operating system. Why we need a multi-user operating system? So when we deploy any application, whatever you are seeing in the Google, something like a Facebook.com, WhatsApp.com, whatever you are seeing in the internet, so that will be deployed or that will be deployed on hardware, something like a multi-user hardware and multi-user OS they are using. multi-user. Now you got it, guys. So Linux is a popular for multi-user operating system. So multi-user operating system. Yeah, guys. What is a CLI? What is GUI? Guys, tell me, what is CLI? Command line interface. Command line interface. So GUI. GUI means
Graphic user.
graphical user interface. So what is OS? So it is a mediator or interface between user and computer, right? So something like a graphical user, so graphical user interface and command line interface. All the Microsoft family, Windows, all the Microsoft OSs are all Microsoft OSs are GUI. So GUI, graphical user interface, something like this is a Windows 11. So this is the OS is the OS is made up with the images. The OS is made up with the images. So something like I'm exploring, I'm adding, minimizing, some creating, everything in the GUI. So all the Microsoft OS, a single user operating system or a multi-user operating system. So it will be a GUI mode, graphical user interface. So what is a graphical user interface? Something like what is the GUI OS? So it will be made up with the images. These all are the images. These all are the images. This is the image. This is the image. This is the image. So something like we are minimizing, maximizing. Everything will be made up with the images. So all Microsoft OSs are a GUI, graphical user interface. Graphical interface. Linux is Linux is CLI. Linux OS is CLI, command line interface. Guys, you know right what something like a CMD in the Windows command prompt. So there is a CMD. How you are interacting with your so something like, so there will be a CLI. CLI means command line interface. So you can interact with the OS through command line only. Through command line of only. Through command line of only. So something like I want to go to the documents is the folder. So document is the something like downloads. Documents is the folder. I want to go to the documents. So CD documents. So then DAR. So how I am interacting with this OS? I will interacting with this OS through the command line. So Linux also. So command line. How you can interact with this Linux OS? A command line interface. It will be black screen. So you can interact with how you can interact with that OS. Definitely there will be a command line interface. Through the commands only we can interact with that OS. To commands only. So we can interact with that OS. Interact with that OS. Guys, what is open source? What is open source? What is commercial? So what is open source or what is a commercial? Guys, tell me. So open source is nothing but the first point is a free of cost. Free of cost. The second point is source code. Source code also available. Source code also available. So source code means so something like so how you are developing your OS through the language, something like through the programs only. So that program, that code also, the Facebook, how the Facebook is developing through the programs, through the program, that code also available. Something like I got the Facebook code. So I got the Facebook code. I don't want the developers. I don't want the developers. I have the Facebook code. So it's a open source. I have the Facebook code and something like I modified whatever wherever the Facebook is there. So I replaced with the book face. Replaced with the book face and released as a book face website. The same whatever the features are there in the Facebook, the same features are available in the book face also. So what is the difference between the difference between both? Only the name. So you got the code. You got the code for the Facebook. The source code means the programming. The programs are the code is available for the Facebook. So I took that code and I modified whatever I want and I released as a book face. So what is the open source? Open source is nothing but a free of cost and source code also available. Source code also available. Commercial means whatever the software you want to use it before you can buy it. So before you can buy it, something like we can purchase the licenses. If you want to use the software, definitely we need to purchase the purchase the licenses. Purchase the licenses. So all the Microsoft products are the commercial. All Microsoft products are commercial. All Microsoft products are commercial. Something like a Linux is Linux is a open source. So why it is popular? Because of open source. Because of open source. So it is a free of cost and source code also available. Source code also available. Available. Who invented the Linux OS? Guys, does anyone knows who developed the Linux OS? Guys, does anyone knows? Josna, Sai Suresh, Timedo, Kim, Glored, Cynthias, Stella Maris.
It should be community, right?
Community, but who developed? Yeah. So this guy developed the Linux OS, created the Linux OS, invented the Linux OS. You know who is this guy? Linus Torvalds. So Linus Torvald developed the Linux OS. Linus Torvald developed the Linux OS. Linux OS. Yep. So Linux OS. Something like that. In 1991, something like a Linus Torvald, joined the institute or something like university, and his mentor asking to create a new Linux. So in new Linux, so he's created a Linux based on the he created a he created a Minix OS. He created a first a Minix OS. Minix OS. So he created a Minix OS first. So Minix OS have certain limitations, something like there is no network, so there is no based on the Unix. So which OS are based on the Unix OS. So based on the Unix OS, they created a Minix OS, but a Minix having certain limitations, and so they've overcome these limitations. They created a new OS. They created a new OS. They created a new OS. New OS. Something like he is thinking. So I want to give a name. I want to give a name to that new OS. So he's thinking, and he's how Linux came. Something like yeah. He took his first four letters of his name. Took first four letters of his name. Linus. So then what is the name of Linus? a Linus. So he took first four letters of his name, and so based on Unix, right? He developed based on Unix, right? He took the he took the last letter of the Unix. He took the last letter of the Unix. He took the last letter of the Unix and then created a name called as a Linux. Linux OS. How Linux OS came, guys? So based on the Unix, he took the Unix from in the Unix, he took the last letter of the Unix, and so in his name of the first four letters of his name and created as a Linux. Linux. So the OS is nothing but a Linux OS. So Linux 12 I created a Linux OS and are released as a open source. Released as a open source. Open source means a free of cost. Free of cost. Free of cost on source code also available. Source code also available. So free of cost is released as a open source. So released as a open source. It's a free of cost and source code also available. So now you guys get it. So how Linux OS came? Linux OS and Linux OS is most popular for OS server side OS, and it is a CLI command line interface. It is a CLI command line interface only. Command line interface only. Now you got it, guys. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So OS, what is a OS? A mediator between user and computer. So something like how many types of OSs? Two types of OS: single user operating system, multi-user operating system. So in which you so what are the single user operating system and what are the multi-user operating system OSs? So and which hardwares supports a single user operating system and multi-user
Yes.
operating system and a Linux. So there is a CLI and GUI, graphical user interface, and a command line interface. What is the difference between open source and a commercial? So open source is nothing but a free of cost and source code available. So commercial is nothing but we need to purchase the license before we can use it. So Linux, how Linux came in the Linus Torvald 1991. So he studied in one of the university. So his mentor asking to create a new OS based on the Unix. He created a Minix OS. Minix OS having some limitations. So then he overcome those limitations and created a new OS. So he's thinking to give the name for the new OS. So he took from his four letters from the first name from his four letters. Then based on Unix, right? He took the last letter of the Unix and they created as a Linux OS. So and he released as a open source and free of cost source code also available. So if source code also available, every company take that source code and created their own OSs. Tomorrow I will show you. So not a tomorrow, something like a Monday will show you how to. So what are the companies took this OS took this source code and created the their own OSs. I will tell you on the Monday, guys.
Okay.
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 Yeah, you guys are understood, right?
Can you go back 1 minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to take a picture of that. 1 second.
I will give you the recording. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want, you can take it.
Yeah, I'm just taking a minute. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Guys, so very easy. So I will teach you something like I have a 10+ years of experience. No worries. I will tell you. I will guide you from scratch. So don't worry. So you are so something like you are deploying our application in the hardware. So but before that we need what is a OS, what is the where we need to, so what is a Linux? Definitely we need to know, right? Everything. You guys are having a good knowledge.